In this lesson, we will talk about anti-differentiation or antiderivative. Previously, when you looked at differential calculus, you learned how to differentiate or how to find the first derivative. So if you had y, then the first derivative of this was dy by dx. Or if you had f of x, then the derivative of this was f dash of x. So this process was called the derivative or the first derivative or differentiation. So from here you differentiate you get dy by dx and f dash. The reverse process to this, or the opposite process, is called antiderivative or anti-differentiation. So the antiderivative or the anti-differentiation is the process where you go back to the original function that gave you that derivative. The other word for antiderivative or anti-differentiation is integration. So differentiation and integration are two opposite operations to each other, are two opposite processes to each other. Let's express this in a different way. Let's consider having a function f capital of x, and that the derivative of this function f dash of x gives us f small of x. So the derivative of f capital of x is f small of x. So if I write it like this, the derivative with respect to x of f of x equals f small of x, then the antiderivative or the integral of f small of x with respect to x equals f capital of x. So if the derivative of this function takes me to this function, then the integral of the new function gets me back to the original function. Let's look at it in other examples. If the derivative with respect to x of x squared equals, what's the derivative of x squared? It's 2x. Then the antiderivative of 2x with respect to x gets me back to the original function, which is x squared. If the derivative, or what is the derivative of sine x with respect to x? The derivative of sine x with respect to x is cosine x. Then the antiderivative of cosine x, the antiderivative of cosine x with respect to x gets me back to the original function, which is sine x. One more function. If the derivative with respect to x of ln x is 1 over x, then the antiderivative of 1 over x with respect to x should equal to ln x. So remember that the antiderivative is the reverse operation of the derivative, or the anti-differentiation is the reverse operation of differentiation, or integration is the reverse process of differentiation. let's look at some examples. This question says here, by differentiating x to the power of 5, find the antiderivative of x to the power of 4. Well, let's see. Let's start by differentiating x to the power of 5. So the derivative with respect to x, or d by dx of x to the power of 5, is equal to 5x to the power of 4. So that means the antiderivative of 5x to the power of 4 gets me back to the original function, which is x to the power of 5. But the question is asking for the antiderivative of only x to the power of 4 without the 5 at the front. So I can get rid of the 5 here by dividing both sides by 5. So if I divide by 5 here, I get x to the power of 4. If I divide by 5 here, I get x to the power of 5 over 5. So then now the statement is changed to the derivative with respect to x of x to the power of 5 over 5 is equal to x to the power of 4. Therefore now I can say that the antiderivative of x to the power of 4, so therefore the antiderivative of x to the power of 4 with respect to x is equal to x to the power of 5 over 5. Or you can write this in words. You'd say, therefore, the antiderivative of x to the power of 4 is x to the power of 5 over 5. Another question. By differentiating e to the power of 3x, find the antiderivative of e to the power of 3x. So, d by dx, or the derivative with respect to x of e to the power of 3x, is equal to, the derivative of e to the power of 3x is 3 e to the power of 3x. So this is the function, this is the derivative. So going backwards, I need to get rid of the 3 first. So I'm going to divide by 3 both sides. So here I get d by dx of e to the power of 3x over 3 equals e to the power of 3x. So if this is a function and this is its derivative, so the antiderivative gets me back to this. So I can say that the antiderivative, or the integral of e to the power of 3x with respect to x is equal to e to the power of 3x over 3. The antiderivative of e to the power of 3x is e to the power of 3x over 3.